everybody. Welcome to the Dragoon's Lair podcast. I am the Blue Dragoon himself, Daniel the Dragon, and with me, once again, is Cousin Balky. Yes, you are Cousin Balky.
Balky Batako Moose.
I think you should do that for the entire show.
I talk like this?
Yes,
Okay, I talk like this.
because, frankly, I think it's an improvement.
Haha, like me.
So, everybody, we want to welcome you back for episode 36 because Mike, in his infinite wisdom, has promised episode 37 is going to be about Kevin Smith. And like I said in the last episode, he's basically sucking Kevin Smith's dick. I'm a fan, but you take it one step too far.
How do you figure that?
You're obsessed,
How?
okay? How many times have you met him?
Oh, 3 or 4?
How many times have you gone to the stash?
I don't know, a couple times.
How many times have you gone to the movie theater?
Twice.
Okay. How many times have I gone?
I don't know, I don't follow you around.
You're usually the one driving.
That's true.
So, once to the movie theater, which was recent,
Right?
twice to the old stash location, and once was to sell stuff to them.
Yeah, they don't buy shit.
And I had never met Kevin Smith until recently, and that was more in passing than anything.
I met Smith uh, twice? 3 times, I think. But, yeah, I went to the stash a couple times. First, I went to the old stash because I wanted to see it. Then when they opened the new one, I went there because I wanted to see it. And then the second time I went to the new stash, it was for the He-Man signing, which was like the 3rd time I met Smith. So yeah, I mean, there's other things to do in Red Bank too.
There are?
I go to Yestercade.
Okay. That's there.
It's
That
literally across the street, and Yestercade is so cool.
Yeah.
You ever been there?
No, I have not been.
You gotta check. It's all old retro video games and pinball games, but the cool thing is, they're all free. You pay by the hour. It's only like $8 an hour.
I've heard about it.
Yeah.
I've wanted to check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah, it's something to check out. It's the same thing. Like there's a place out in I think Pennsylvania I wanted to check out. Like Gamers Heaven,
Okay.
because they have their TikTok page and stuff where they advertise. The owner is trying to franchise off, so they have anime figures. They have like game setups where you can do PC gaming, all sorts of stuff over there. You can rent to do tabletops.
Mhm.
Like they have like all sorts of like merchandise, kind of like the way old Comic Book Jones was, where you
Yeah.
could sit down and read. But they even have a supermarket section.
Really?
So they have a boba tea thing where you can get boba tea. You can get you can buy like a Japanese kind of like food convenience store, and they have showers there because some people go and they actually enforce their no smell policy.
Nice.
I respect any place that really goes and
Yes.
enforces a no smelly people policy
Yeah.
because
Some people do stink.
yeah, listen, there's been plenty of times where, you know what, you're traveling, if you're on the subway, it's in the summertime, it's hot, yeah, you're going to be sweating.
Yeah.
You're putting that deodorant to the test.
Oh, without a doubt.
But when you go and you get where you need to,
Shower.
yeah, it's like seriously, if there's a shower, do it. And I mean, no body spray. Don't try to cover that
Yeah,
stuff
the
up.
Axe makes it 10 times worse.
Yeah.
It
Any of
makes
the
you stand out more.
the body sprays are they lied to you back in the early 2000s with the commercials of spraying it everywhere. No. Yeah. So we just got a little notification. So we're celebrating the weekend. It's the Dragoon's Lair podcast. Hang on a second, folks. Alexa, stop.
Big sister is always listening.
She wants to be part of the show,
She
just
does.
like everyone else. And now you can find the Dragoon's Lair podcast on Amazon Music in their podcast section.
Nice.
Yep. I was playing around with some stuff online.
That's Danny for you, Mr. Internet.
Yeah, Meanwhile, have you checked out Threads?
No.
Oh my God. The Twitter killer is
Okay.
what they're trying to call it. You have your Instagram account and it basically is Twitter.
Do I have to? Is this something else that the Dragoon's Lair has to sign up for?
It's a very simple process of we have we have the Instagram page. Just download and add it and it into Threads, and now you have a separate app, and it imports everyone straight from your Instagram. So you're not starting from scratch,
Good.
but it is a text-based way of letting people know like what's going on. It's still under development. Zuckerberg said it. It's like there are features that aren't on there. Hashtags. There's no save feature yet to be able to save things, and the only way to stop anything is really to delete your Instagram account. But no one's doing that just yet. So,
No.
but it's the Wild West over there, and it's a lot of fun because you're seeing people like it feels like a frat party over there.
Really?
Where Twitter's become chaos and every other word is a racist comment. Like Threads is like, hey, here's Instagram without pictures. It's all text based, but you feel like you're hanging out with old college buddies. Speaking of college buddies, my buddy Danny is probably out there listening, and I want to say congratulations on getting married. It was great to be invited, by the way. You got a few of us wondering. We didn't get any invitations, let alone we didn't even know you were getting married. Knew about the engagement, but we didn't know about the wedding. So, congratulations,
Congratulations.
and I hope you guys are happy. But why are you keeping it on the down low?
To quote The Godfather, may your first child be a masculine child.
So, thank you, Dan. Dan is one of our listeners. He follows us online. Good buddy of mine. We went to college together. You and I have worked with him on a few projects and stuff. He's a good kid.
He is.
Little more into the sci-fi than I am, but good kid.
A little
So,
odd. That's why he fits in with us. No, let me rephrase. A lot of odd. That's why he fits in with us.
yeah, if you're not odd, you don't fit in here. Dan
Mhm.
is actually the one that said he liked Dragoonies, so
Hey,
we can credit Dan for the one coming up with calling the fans the Dragoonies.
Dragoonies never say die.
Yep.
But we do say surrender.
Although we definitely do need to find an artist to make artwork for us
Mm-hmm.
for our merchandise that we would like to eventually do, but we could always use like some kind of like nice little thumbnails and stuff because I don't know how to do that. I do have to throw a shout out though, real quick. Let me just get on here because the new logo is up on the Dragoon's Lair podcast for on Spotify, so I changed over the look.
You have a new logo?
It slightly altered and it's a little updated. But yeah, so I had hired Lily Thomas off of Twitter, got her to do it. It's Lily underscore Thomas 12 on Twitter. I want to thank her. There's the new backgrounds. I have to update those for the the Twitch channel and the YouTube page for the backgrounds. So she did the banner, she did the new logo image. So I didn't change my personal one, but I did update the actual one for the show.
Okay.
And I was trying to update. We just got the new ones. She does great work. Anybody who would like, she works well with everybody to try to get things figured out. And you pay like partial up front, you pay the rest when it's done. You know, she put in good work, and I want to thank her for that. So thank you. And anybody who's looking to have like banners, logos, she's supposedly can also do. I don't didn't have the funds, but can do like animated intros and stuff. So definitely go and check her out and see if you want to hire her. Highly recommend. So thank you again. So now we got to talk a little bit about Deadpool 3
Okay. Let's talk
because
Deadpool 3.
we've been hearing a lot of things coming out about Deadpool 3. One of the most interesting things that I love that happened is Deadpool 3 took Captain America, like the new Captain America movie, they took their spot.
Yes, I heard
Due
that.
to the writer's strike, they pushed back Captain America. I think that would be the fourth one. Yeah, I think it's number 4. First
No,
Avenger.
There's Captain America, Civil War, Winter Soldier.
Winter
Yes,
Soldier.
this is number 4.
Yeah. So number 4 for, and I mean, seen some photos of Falcon and Harrison Ford.
See, I have no problem with Harrison Ford being Thunderbolt Ross. My question is, why? I mean, I think he'll do a good job, but I would not mind seeing Sam Elliott come back as Thunderbolt because I thought he did a good job. In I mean, the movie was shit, but he was one of the standout characters.
Yeah, but remember, no one wants to look back at Ang Lee's.
But it's
Ang,
not. It's
it,
not looking back at Ang Lee's. It's okay. This is an actor who did the role the
yes,
right way.
but no, because the problem is that there's a stain on that because of that movie. Most people hate Ang Lee's Hulk. I actually really liked it.
I didn't have a problem with the story. I didn't have a problem with the actors. I just did not like how they made it look like a comic book, like the way like.
That was actually what I really liked
See,
about
I
it.
got motion sickness watching that.
See, I didn't have a single problem with it. I liked the fact that it had the comic book panels. The problem I had with it was at a time period where everybody was like, we got to put an animal in the movie and we've got to make them. I mean, Blade Trinity had the vampire Pomeranian.
Which was funny.
Ang Lee's Hulk had
The dog.
yeah, not the dog. There were three, and one of them was a poodle. You have a hulked out poodle.
Yes,
I
yeah,
could
forgot
understand
about
the hulked out Rottweiler, hulked out pit bull, but a hulked out poodle, and it even had the poofy hair. It took me out of any of the fun I was having with the Hulk. I mean, granted, this one was more like one of the storylines where it was like blaming the father and trauma and stuff for genetic research. I I prefer to stick with the older story of in the gamma radiation test, and he ends up going off, and now he's traveling around, which was in the Ed Norton one.
Yeah, you heard a little bit of the when he's
The
walking,
sad walking
the sad
away
walking
music.
music when he was walking in the downpour.
Not, and he even did the "Don't make me angry, you wouldn't like me when I'm
Oh,
angry."
although he said it in
Hungry.
Portuguese and don't make me hungry. You wouldn't
Yeah,
like me when I'm hungry. I was like,
yeah,
what?
because he doesn't speak Portuguese.
Mhm.
But they have shown who's going to be in the new movie so far for Captain America. I saw like Liv Tyler, I believe, is coming back as Betty Ross.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of returning characters. The leader from
Is it the same guy?
same guy.
Good.
So they're keeping most of the people from Ed Norton's Hulk. They just didn't want Ed Norton.
Yeah.
And I can't blame him, but then again, he didn't like the movie because he wanted to do more things on his own, supposedly. And you know what? He went off to do Birdman, so I was happy with his performance
Yeah.
in Birdman more than that. So now, though, and I actually really like Mark Ruffalo.
I have no problem with Mark
Ruffalo seems like he seems like a cool Hulk,
Mm-hmm.
especially once they introduced like Professor Hulk. It's kind of that he was the Hulk you kind of wanted to see.
Yeah.
Like, but now Ryan Reynolds jumped the spot
Mm-hmm.
and put Deadpool 3 in. So that was pretty fun. Like that, just knowing that we're gonna get it sooner rather than later.
Now I've seen some things. They're like, oh, check out the new suit and this and that. And the only thing, it's a little bit brighter.
Yeah.
Well,
but
couldn't really tell anything else. I mean, just a little brighter.
well, that's the thing. Like I'm pulling it up right now, and as you can tell, like the suit's gonna be brighter. It now, granted, it was pretty comic accurate to begin with,
Yeah.
but I mean, with the new suit, it's gonna probably be brighter and probably maybe a little easier to breathe in material, and who knows what kind of CG stuff they're gonna slap on there.
Well, I mean,
Although
you don't really need. I mean, the eyes maybe, but then again, I've seen like ads on Facebook and Instagram where they
Yeah.
offer like these
Anybody-
masks where
but
like the eyes move on
yeah,
their own.
anybody who's watching the podcast now will be able to see this if you're watching. If you're listening only,
Go
I'm
watch it.
sorry. Come back and watch the video version. But yeah, so like we've pulled up, so Mike and I are looking at it right now. So you can see like the red suit is very dark from on one in one picture, but the other picture it's really bright, but that could also be like color wise.
Mm.
But it almost does look like there might be a texture change for the material that they used.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could be kind of cool depending on how it looks.
Like the one
yeah.
picture you see, go back up for a minute. Go back up.
Yeah.
You have two pictures. The picture on the left, it's Ryan in the suit without the mask, and then the one on the right, it's him in full mask. The picture on the left, it looks like it's a slimmer version and the one on the right looks like there's a little more bulk and padding to it.
Well, the thing is, it's all Ryan. That's the funniest part of that entire
And I
costume.
give that man so much credit for getting in that kind of shape.
At his age, abso-fucking-lutely.
But then again, when you have Ryan Reynolds' money, you can afford to go take 3, 4 months off and just work out.
Yeah, but no, and then we got Hugh Jackman coming in and listed for Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be a very interesting thing. I mean, we're only getting like a few little set photos. It's not like there's a ton of stuff that they're doing that we're getting too much information on.
Which is what I've always liked, and I find amazing about the Deadpool films, is how much they're able to keep under wraps. Like when they came out and they were talking about, oh, we're gonna get Ryan Reynolds back, and they're like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then
Yeah,
all of a
well,
sudden, oh shit, we got Ryan
there's a
Reynolds.
difference between Ryan Reynolds, who cares about his character and can be funny, sarcastic. You don't know if he's serious about something or not,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to Tom Holland, who
Who just can't help it. He
yeah,
spoils.
him, Ruffalo, they like give stuff away. It's like, hey, we're gonna tell you everything that's going on.
They had
I,
a.
you know, I know you don't mind spoilers.
I know.
I have mixed feelings about it. If I really want to see something where I've been looking forward to it, I want no spoilers because I want to go in clean. Because I've been highly anticipating it and I've been trying to avoid it. But if it's something where I'm like, I'm a little like I'm interested, but I'm not 100% sold, you can give me some spoilers to help. But
Mm-hmm.
if it's a Marvel movie, I want to go in as little as possible, so my expectations are I'm coming in for the first time and seeing what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, when they had the press tour for uh Endgame, and it was Benedict Cumberbatch and Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Whenever they were sitting down, they were like, "Okay, what's going to happen here?" And you literally have Cumberbatch jumping in front of, covering his mouth. He goes, "I'll handle this one."
Yeah. It's become a running joke
Mm.
of got to stop Tom Holland
Yeah,
from
you got to stop
spoiling
him
things.
and Ruffalo. You got to
Mm,
stop him.
yeah. I mean, Ruffalo's funny the way he does it though,
Yeah, he
because
said it like, "Oh, I'm probably gonna get sued for this one."
yeah, it's like he already knows. It's like I'm gonna say it. I'm breaking. It's like I think it. And what was it? What did Tom Holland say in Endgame? He showed up because they only gave him his lines.
Yeah,
They didn't give him the rest of the script.
yeah. They only gave him what he had to shoot.
So he shows up for Tony's funeral, and he's like, "So where's Robert?" Not realizing
Mm-hmm.
it's the funeral scene for Iron Man.
Right.
So you're like, really, like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I like this kid, but it's like,
You're taking it a little too far,
yeah,
there,
you
kid.
it's like, the fanboy thing, tone it down a
Tone it
bit,
down a little
tone it
bit.
down, simmer down now, boy, simmer down.
Simmer down there, boy.
Yeah. Now, the other day I told you because to watch this because I was scrolling through Instagram and I came across Jack Quaid's like his page from he's from The Boys
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and playing Huey,
mm-hmm.
which can't wait for the next season of that. But he said he was voicing Clark Kent and Superman for it's part of the DC universe, but it's not James Gunn's. It's not part of the old. It's pretty much an Elseworld like separate story where it's him and playing Superman with Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane, the three of them as interns at the Daily Planet.
Yep.
And I was immediately like, this is going to be on Cartoon Network,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to get to watch this, and then it'll be on Max like the next day. So I told you about it. I watched it,
Mm-hmm.
and they released 2 episodes. So what did you think about this new Superman show?
I liked it. The episodes, what they're each were a half hour,
Well, a
a
little
little less, little
say
less than a
about
half.
22 minutes
Sounds right. Sounds fair.
because commercial breaks.
Yeah. What I liked about it, they didn't drag it out, and they didn't. Like everybody knows how Superman got here. Everybody knows, like the backstory and everything. But now they're showing him. Okay, instead of just jumping right into, oh, I work for the Daily Planet now. They're showing you how he got there. Like Jimmy, Lois, and Clark. They're all interns at the planet, and the first episode, he's not in the suit.
Yeah,
He's fighting in basically a big rain jacket.
Yeah,
fighting giant
he
robots.
basically took like some safety gear
Yeah,
from the construction site because he didn't have the suit. And
right.
I like that.
I It
That
was
was cool
different,
that it was like it's the first time, so it's him like learning.
learning the ropes.
Yeah, so it's you can kind of look at it almost like if it was like Batman Year 1 where it's like the early days of him trying to figure stuff out.
Right, and they didn't try to jam too much into an episode. It wasn't overly, like I said, it wasn't overly drawn out where you have like this big lead up and this big mystery and then, oh, it's a huge battle at the end. No, it was boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
It was this happens, this happens, this happens, credits.
Yeah, and I like the fact that it's actually called My Adventures with Superman,
Right.
and it's not. You would think
Now
if
you
you
would think
here, you would think it's like Lois or Jimmy.
Right, I was gonna say the same thing. My Adventures with Superman. You're thinking, oh, this is being told from Lois's point of view. No, it's actually being told through Clark's point of view.
Yeah, it's Clark's point of view, but he's with Lois and Jimmy
Jimmy.
as all as interns.
No, yeah, they're all interns, right?
Yeah, Lois has just been there like an extra week or
Yeah, extra
something
week,
ahead of
yeah.
them. So I love the art style for it because they made it like an anime style art style, which is reminiscent of kind of like the first version of Teen Titans.
Right.
Because that was like an amazing one. It was like really like, I wish we would have got more stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, now that they've announced that there's going to be a Harley Quinn Suicide Squad anime movie. Well, I don't know if it's a movie or it's or like a season, but it's going to be pretty interesting to see an anime style. And everyone knows I'm a huge anime fan, and this is going to be an isekai. Isekai is the genre known as getting transported to another world. So this is going to be the Suicide Squad and Harley Quinn, and maybe even the Joker, like getting transported to another universe, like another world.
Right.
So it it's going to be a cool Elseworld anime style thing, and who else but putting the Suicide Squad would be a great choice? Because let's face it, you're going to go anime and kind of craziness. Why not go Harley with the Suicide Squad? And I think Harley's kind of taken on more a life beyond what anyone ever expected.
Oh yeah, I think she was just, when they created her for Batman the animated series, I think maybe she just maybe they intended her to be like a 1-2 off episode character,
Yeah.
and then she just kind of had life of her own, which I give credit to Tara Strong for voicing her, and because
Well, she wasn't the first,
she
but
wasn't.
no.
Who was
Arlene Sorkin.
Sorry, yes, Arlene Sorkin.
Sorkin.
Sorkin. She laid the groundwork because you can have a character drawn perfectly, but if the voice doesn't match, what good is it?
Yeah.
You know,
Tara
so,
Strong's come in and
yeah,
she's done an amazing job, but Tara Strong is an amazing voice
yes,
actress. Like she has such a range of voices. I mean, most people know her for Timmy Turner,
mm-hmm.
like, but she's like one of the My Little Ponies.
Wasn't she a Powerpuff Girl?
Yep. Everybody's favorite. I'm gonna be the prettiest girl at the party.
Then she goes beat the shit out of
Yeah,
everybody.
exactly. It's like Tara Strong has a great range, and she's been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
And interesting little side note: you figure we've had Hawkeye has been in a movie with Harley Quinn because they were both in National Lampoon Senior Trip. Jeremy Renner and Tara Strong. She was using a different name, but yes, so the two of them were both in the movie together.
The
So
first Marvel DC crossover.
exactly. So a little lesser known, but yeah, the My Adventures with Superman though, Jack Quaid was great as Clark Kent and like a young Superman.
Yep.
It wasn't like he doesn't seem like the guy like when you look at him and you see him as Huey on The Boys. He's not like that gruff like where you would think, and it's not the like the voice you would expect.
Mm-hmm.
But with the way the design of the character is, it's the design
Yeah.
feels right with that character, and it feels like his voice just naturally just like fit right in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great. Like it's coming it's midnights on like Cartoon Network, and then it'll be on Max the next day. this is not a paid advertisement. We're just talking about things that we enjoy. And I had a funny feeling that Mike was going to enjoy this. And 2 episodes in, and it's got a bunch of like giant robots. Jimmy is like obsessed with aliens.
Well, that's if the giant robot thing, if I remember correctly, it's a throwback to like the first
Yeah.
Superman cartoon, like way back when. What did he do? He fight giant fucking robots.
Well, yeah, because it's like, how do you have Superman fighting like just regular criminals?
Yeah, you can't do it.
And he's too strong. It's like you can't. But the giant robot thing really was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way that they were giving him his backstory. By the second episode, you get to see like he's learning about his history and where he came from.
And I like the fact that when you see Jor-El, he's not speaking English.
Yeah, he's speaking
He's
Kryptonian.
speaking Kryptonian, and I'm like, that's perfect because not everybody speaks English.
Oh, not only that, but Ma Kent, when she sees him in the suit at first, it's like it's missing something. I think it needs like a belt.
Yep.
I'm
and then
like,
she give him the red tights.
Yeah, I was, and I think a little bit of a belt too.
Yeah.
But it was just like, really? You know what is it? They kept the whole my costume. My mom made it for me kind of vibe on that one. So it was like, other than just it's an alien suit. It's like, oh well, you know what? It's part of his heritage, but we added a little
we
something.
added a little twist to it.
So his mom made it for him.
You know what? As I was watching these episodes, I was thinking, you know what would be cool if somewhere down the line we get either a animated movie or something when you have Superman when he went electric, the electric blue suit.
Oh God,
that would be interesting.
It'd be interesting, but it was a horrible suit.
It was an interesting concept.
It was a horrible suit.
I didn't say it was a good suit. I said it was an interesting concept.
Let's face it. There's been a lot of superhero suits that have been terrible over the years, and that was pretty high up there.
Well, it was what, the late '90s.
Yeah, well,
mid to late '90s. So it was like, oh, that's cool. And
yeah, while he was rocking the mullet.
Yeah, and they actually released a couple of different issues for that one, and I have them both. And one of them was a black one that glowed. Thank you. In the dark.
It glue in the dark.
It glued in the dark.
Not glued, glue.
It glowed in the dark.
Yes, folks, here at the Dragoon's Lair podcast, we try to make sure that we can help correct your grammar.
We speak the Queen's English.
No, I speak the King's English. You speak the Queen's English. So let's just be clear.
Now, if I spoke the Queen's English, I speak like this.
No, that would just mean you'd have a lisp.
Whatever.
Now, with Mike's accent, he doesn't need anything more frustrating the tongue.
What accent? What the fuck you talking about here? Oh.
Yeah, Guido from Staten Island, folks.
Oh. It's Mario from the old country. Mario? What Mario? There's 400 fucking Marios.
Yeah. And now, on that note, speaking of 400 Marios, Secret Invasion has us wondering who everyone is. Because that latest episode, they went full on where you couldn't tell who was, like, they were on the hunt for who was a Skrull.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really revving up like the intrigue. And this is episode 3. So this is the midpoint for Secret Invasion, since it's only going to be 6 episodes. So 6 episodes, and we're on the 3rd. And they're like twists, turns. You know, we find out Fury knows he's married to a Skrull.
Because everybody was like, oh, does he know he's a... I'm like, yeah, he knows she's a fucking Skrull.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're getting into spoiler territory, but yeah, this is really one of those things where it was like they answered the questions that we wanted right off the bat because we wanted to know. And now it's like Fury's going around, and even when you're listening, you can tell. I don't know if you heard it in the background. You could hear Rhodey's voice. Like when they were conversation with like the Skrulls, you could hear Rhodey.
In the last episode?
Yep, in the last episode. It was in the background. I caught, like, and it sounded just like Rhodey, and I'm hearing the voice, and I'm like, yep, this is pretty much confirmation he's a Skrull at this point.
No, I missed that one.
Yeah.
Like, I saw the episode, but I just didn't hear it.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it was like I was glued to the screen. I'm, like, watching, and I'm like, nope. They got to look, listen, paying 100% attention, because stuff it pretty much went crazy. So, I mean, because it was going so crazy, I mean, you're seeing like all these aspects of it. And I mean, I'm pulling up some screenshots from previous episodes off the Marvel website for it, but this is the thing. Anybody who's watching can see these. If you want to go to the Marvel website yourself, all I did was Google Secret Invasion. So we're not going crazy and fancy, folks.
No, we're not. We're keeping it simple here at
Yeah,
the lair.
got to we follow the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I mean, when you see like Rhodey, he's coming off as a Skrull.
Yeah, I mean, like you made the point last week. Why is he telling Fury to bring down the Avengers? He
Yeah,
is an Avenger. He knows the Avengers.
yeah.
He can make a phone call, come on down.
I mean,
Since he doesn't have that information, okay, I didn't think much of it at the time, but now it makes sense.
yeah. I mean, when you think about it, how does Rhodey not have access to be able to get in touch with the Avengers? He was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so he was with Sam, like he was talking to Sam.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if he's in contact with Sam, and Sam at this point should be the new Captain America, it's like how is he not in contact
Right.
with Captain America himself? So shouldn't be a problem for Rhodey to contact the Avengers. So the fact that they need Fury, that says that Rhodey's not who he claims to be. I mean, Amelia Clark, the way she's been sneaking around and doing the espionage stuff, kind of playing both sides. I love the way she's doing this. The portrayal is very interesting,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to see where it goes because they left it off in kind of a cliffhanger. I don't think she's done.
Unless it's not really her who,
Yeah.
it could have been somebody else disguised as her.
Yeah, but that one scroll figuring out another scroll, it's like I don't know, but it's I mean, let's face it, you saw like they were doing some damage to the scrolls and these guys kind of recover.
Yeah.
So the funny part is this guy's plan is to make them all super scrolls.
Mm.
And I'm just like, where's the Fantastic Four? It's
Unless that could be coming in, that could be that, and that would not be a bad way. At the end of episode 6, you have the Fantastic Four. Just bum 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 bum. There they are.
like, yeah. The problem is they still really haven't even released a cast for who it's gonna be.
Well, they kind of could. They could do it.
They've given us some, but I don't know.
They could. What they could do is they can do it the way they did the Justice League at the end of Peacemaker.
Oh yeah, we're
You have Superman,
Wonder
Wonder
Woman.
Woman in shadow,
Yeah.
and then you have Flash and Aquaman up front and center. But do all 4 in shadow. Like you have the backlit, so the only thing you see there's silhouettes.
Yeah.
And you have the Human Torch flying across the screen.
I hate that rumor. Thought it was true.
Fuck you, Barry.
The fact that those two are the only remaining remnants of the Snyderverse,
It's sad.
yeah, because Affleck, Gal Gadot, and Cavill, they were the Trinity.
They were.
But I mean, the new guy that Gunn is cast kind of looks
He
like
looks a lot like Cavill.
Yeah, not even just like Cavill. He looks like he could be Superman. But
Mhm.
then again, I mean, Tyler Hoechlin's doing a pretty good job on Superman, The Adventures of Superman and Lois. So
Mhm. And a lot of people, you know, forget Superman doesn't really need to be jacked because he's a fucking alien.
well,
And I mean, and
it-
they were all fit.
here's the thing and this is the thing. Like you'll hear this from a lot of fitness people, where it's like because before surgery and shit, I was a gym rat. I was there 5-7 days a week. Now, no matter how much you're working out and stuff, you have to be able to put more resistance to be able to build that kind of muscle.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is he lifting? You got a guy like Superman who it's like he can't lift normal weights because
They're too easy.
yeah. So I mean, I think there was one comic where where they were testing his strength, but that was only as much as the machine would go. So it's like if he's stronger than whatever the toughest machine that to measure is what they can come up with.
And even though it's not canon, do
Yeah.
you remember the beginning of Superman 4?
Yeah.
It was like 1,000 pound weight being held up by just a single strand of Superman's hair, which kind of leads you to ask the question: how'd you get the hair off his head?
Well, he'd have to yank it out probably, but then again, I mean, seriously, I was more wondering how were they able to cut it with Luther because it's like shouldn't that be a kryptonite like
Well, he didn't.
clippers?
Well,
He used bolt
he
cutters.
used bolt cutters, but did he cut the? I don't think he cut the hair. I think he cut the strand that was holding the hair.
Oh no, it was kind of a combination. He cut like that. It looked like cut a little bit of the hair. Either way, it was still very weird.
Mm,
I love Christopher Reeve. He was an amazing Superman.
yep.
That movie though,
Yeah, it kind of made you go, what am I watching?
yeah, the Solar Man thing was just
No. Nuclear Man.
yeah, bullshit.
He was
He
nuclear bad.
he was garbage.
And again,
And
can't blame the actor.
he looked like a shitty Chippendales dancer.
You know who he actually looked like?
Who?
Tom Wopat with blonde hair.
Oh God.
No, really, that's what when I saw the movie when it came out and I saw the commercials, I really thought it was Tom Wopat. He looked just like him. I looked like Bo Duke with blonde hair.
Yeah, well, but no. So I mean, it was weird. But we're going off on a little bit of a tangent right now. Now
we do.
we recently did go down to Smodcastle
Mm-hmm.
because it is what was it the 40th or 42nd anniversary of the Blues
Came
Brothers?
out in the 80, 40,
43.
42.
Yeah. So I'm about as old as the Blues Brothers movie. So yeah. So it was the anniversary. So Kevin Smith was having a screening. So us and we went down there before the 4th of July extravaganza.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed our 4th of July episode. If you
Yeah.
did, please email us and let us know at dragoonslairpodcast at gmail.com. That's dragoonslairpodcast at gmail.com. All one word, Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. I swear to God, send us fucking emails. Weren't expecting that one, were you, dick?
Anyway.
Listen, you cock goblin. Now, let's be clear about
Let's
this.
get straight. Crotch goblin.
No, you're a cock goblin.
Crotch goblin.
Cock goblin.
Anyway.
Children are crotch goblins. You, cock goblin.
Anyway.
So, want to tell everybody how things went down for the Smodcastle events, which I will recommend.
It was. It's a very
as long as you have a lot of time.
As long as you have a lot of time. It's Smith does these things, and it's the movies that made him serious. So movies that inspired him. And I have to correct myself. This was the third time I went there because we saw Jaws. So I saw Jaws, Blues Brothers, and what the hell was the other one? Jaws, Blues Brothers.
I can't even remember.
It was
See, he's confusing himself. I told you.
No, it was Jaws and the Blues Brothers. Only 2 times I went down there. Anyway, it's very cool. It's not a huge theater. I think there's only like 8 theaters in it, but it has that very homey mom and pop feel to it. And we watched the Blues Brothers, and Kevin Smith was chilling in the back.
Yep.
He's a very cool, approachable guy, and he plays games with everybody. He's like, all right, that's what I want you to do. Every time you see a new character on the screen, I want everybody to go nuts. And when we saw Jaws, it's like every time someone says shark, you all gotta yell out shark. And he makes it fun. And ahead of time, he did auctions.
Auctions?
An auction. He auctioned off stuff.
Okay, I'm just trying to make sure. Got to make sure the grammar's correct. Got to be the grammar police around here.
Anyway.
Because somebody got Joey Boombats over here, thinks he knows what he's talking about.
No, Joey Tree Fingers, not Boombats, it's Tree Fingers.
Well, yeah, you definitely tree fingers.
I got your tree fingers.
It looks more like 2.
2 1/4, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you keep praying for that quarter.
Yeah.
Every inch matters.
You dick.
Absolutely. I told you. Everyone out there, you don't want to listen to my fucking solo episode? Fuck you. Now, congratulations. This is what you're getting now.
Anyway, it was really cool. He auctioned off a lot of cool stuff. First time I went down there, I bought myself a He-Man hockey jersey. is the Castle Grayskull, is the He-Man Eternia Battle Cats. So it's the Hartford Whalers colors, the green and blue, with the Florida Panther logo of the old one with like the panther jumping out at you, but instead of the panther, it's Battle Cat,
Yeah.
and of course 37 on the back. Really cool. A lot of he a lot of cool stuff, but definitely give yourself like 3-4 hours just just to that because he talks in the beginning, does that, and then he does a Q&A afterwards where you
Yeah.
just get to shoot the shit with him, and it's very he makes it feel very personable.
Yeah. It is a comfortable environment.
Very.
You don't feel like you're ever being rushed.
Right.
You don't
He
feel.
even said like during the Q&A, he was like, "All right, do we have any more?" He goes, "I'll stay here all night, answer any question you have."
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Anybody else? We done? Anybody?" And people like, "Oh, I got a question." He goes, "Let's have it."
Yeah. You can tell he's there for a while because starts off with the suit jacket,
Yeah.
ends the night, and he's already in his robe.
He even says he lives up when he's in Jersey. He lives above it.
Yeah.
So he was like, he goes, "I have a plate of beans." He goes, he even says the older films are more of a draw than the newer film.
And he's right because when you actually think about it, like currently right now, Fast 10 is available on Amazon Prime for rental.
Yeah.
So, movies that are in the theaters after like 2 months, they're already up on Amazon for rental and I'm happy about that
Remember
because
when that shit used to be movie was released in the early summer, you have to wait until like Christmas time before it comes on pay-per-view.
sometimes you were lucky if you got it in the winter and it wasn't until like spring,
Mm-hmm.
like the next year. So you almost waited like a year to be able to see a movie or to even get it on VHS.
Yep.
That's right, VHS, folks. Kids, they were these rectangular objects
Boxes.
that had tape inside.
Not Scotch tape.
No, magnetic tape that
Oh.
had pictures and sound on there. It's not like streaming.
Yeah, fuck streaming.
I appreciate streaming, especially because of the fact that it gives me the opportunity to pause it and go to the bathroom.
You did that with the tape.
Yeah, but at the same time, the tape you more wanted to stop because it was stretching the tape.
Yeah.
Like streaming, it's like, okay, it'll actually hit up a screensaver if you're gone for too long.
Mhm.
You're in the middle of making yourself another bowl of popcorn, you grabbing a snack.
Can of corn.
Yeah. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
Oh, I eat canned vegetables straight out of the can. Nothing wrong with that. I'm at least getting my vegetables in.
Amen.
So it really is one. But back to the Smodcastle events, it was a good time. It's very friendly environment. You feel comfortable. It doesn't feel like you're rushed or anything. It has a very vintage feel.
Mm-hmm.
So do not expect reclining seats.
No, it's old school cinema.
Yeah. So it's a nice like throwback. I highly recommend anybody who really wants to get like that classic feeling of what it's like to be in the theater, especially for like these retro showings.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's face it, seeing an older movie on the big screen,
It's a thrill.
it's something you don't get a chance to do.
Right.
And you know what? For an older crowd, it's something you've never done, like you haven't seen in years.
Right. I mean,
Although I will say the little kid that was there for the viewing of the Blues Brothers.
He was hysterical.
Oh, this little kid was adorable.
He had
Was
to be
that,
about 8.
He was like 8, 9 years
No,
old.
7 or 8.
Seven
Kid's
or
name
eight,
was
yeah.
Hunter. It was
Yeah.
great.
This kid Hunter was great. It's like he's like raising his hand for the auction
For everything.
He wanted to buy everything. The dad's sitting right next to him, and he's like, "Put your hand down." Like,
And at times, Smith would, hold up a new item for auction. He goes, "Hunter," he goes, "Do you want it?"
yeah, it's like Hunter. He's gonna buy your toy.
Exactly. He goes, "Hunter, you better outbid him." And the fellow's like, "Keep your hand down, goddammit."
The kid
I
was
already
still
spent-
trying to raise his hand.
He was. That father had to have spent at least $400 on just stuff.
Yeah.
Not,
But you know what? Hunter made it like I think
Hunter made it
halfway.
great.
He made it halfway through the
Yeah.
movie.
and then he gets up and he leaves, carrying.
Yeah.
He made it through. Hunter made it halfway through the movie before passing out, and then Kevin is doing his Q&A, and the father scoops him up, and the kid's like passed out in his arms. So Kevin's like, "Good night, Hunter," and we all went to go. Clark goes, "No, he's sleeping. Shh, don't do that."
It was like just very low. So Hunter was getting Hunter got a round of applause.
Yes, he did. That kid, he was Hunter. If you're watching, rock on, buddy.
if you're listening to this, your
your
dad's cool.
dad's cool, but you gotta.
I question quite a few things there.
Yeah, but
Yeah, not for children, folks.
not at all. But Hunter,
Yeah, that
he
kid
was a cool
Hunter
kid.
was really
He
cool.
was a
Like,
cool kid.
it's like you're a fan, like buying a bunch of merchandise,
Right.
and he's walking up there with the money too.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the classic feel of like it reminded me of being a kid and my parents telling me it's like go to the corner store, go pick up milk, and they're handing me the money. It's like they're giving you money for milk, eggs, or whatever it is
Mm-hmm.
to go pick it up, and it's like you feel like an adult as a little kid
Yep.
doing that. It's
You
just like
strut down the street.
you're like all proud and stuff, sit upright. It's like, yeah, I'm a big boy now.
I'm a big boy now. Oh shit! What am I supposed to get?
Yeah. Although I will say, watching Blues Brothers, it was great to see it on the
Yeah.
screen. The movie holds up after
Mhm.
all these years. You know,
And there was just a lot of. I mean, I saw the movie 1,000 times. I haven't seen it recently, but watching it, watching it on the big screen because again it came out in '80 and I was 2 years old, so of course I wasn't seeing it on the big screen.
yeah.
This is the first time seeing it on the big screen, and I'm like, this is awesome. But just all the jokes and the visual sight gags they have in there, it holds up today. Like the scene when they drive the Nazis off the bridge. Illinois Nazis. I hate Illinois Nazis, and they
Yeah.
just drive through everything.
Oh yeah, it's like I hate Nazis. Well, guess what? I hate them
does.
too.
Yeah.
But you know what? If I want to drive through Nazis, I can. Thank you, Ron DeSantis, for making it possible because your state has Nazis, and you made it so you can barrel through an entire group of protesters, and it's not a crime.
Yep.
Florida, where everything's legal.
What a promo. Florida, where everything is legal.
Yeah, even marrying your sister. Ding 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 ding.
And you would think that West Virginia would be the first one to do that, or Alabama.
You would think,
Or
but no,
Georgia.
Florida, meth capital of the world.
It replaced West Virginia as the meth capital of the world.
It really did.
Florida. It's like that joke. What do you do with a trailer parker in a broken down trailer in West Virginia? Build a town around it.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the thing.
How do you know that the toothbrush was invented in West Virginia?
I don't know how.
Because if it was invented anywhere else, it would be called a teeth brush.
Dad jokes, folks. Folks, I'm going to ask a question, and I really would like you guys to participate in this one. If you would like to see Mike and I do a dad joke battle, each one of us, dad joke versus dad joke until one of us breaks. If you would be interested in seeing this, please email us at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's dragoonslairpodcast, all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com.
What is the lesbian motto?
I don't know what.
No penis between us.
So, folks, if you would like more of
Boom,
things
I
like
just got 'em.
that,
I just got him.
I smiled as I'm doing the advertisement.
Uh-huh.
The advertisement for not an advertisement. More like, hey guys, help us out. We're testing out some content ideas. So a dad joke battle off. Come on. Like
A dad joke off.
yeah.
Joke off at the Dragoon Slayer podcast.
Okay, let's make sure we say it correctly and enunciate.
I said a joke off at the Dragoon Slayer podcast.
Thank you. You want to make
Not
sure
a jerk off, a joke off.
Well, there are 2 jerk offs in the Dragoon's Lair podcast, but that's a whole different
But
story.
that's not what we were doing.
Exactly.
We'll be telling jokes.
Although, if you'd like, watch the video version of this episode and see if we're lying or not. It's only one way to find out.
Yes, there is.
So make sure you watch and listen to us on all of our platforms. Now, we had a blast. You had your 4th of July barbecue.
Yep.
Good time was had by
A
all.
little worried about the rain in the beginning part of the day, but thank God it held
4th
out.
of July, rain, lightning, thunder. And then it's like sun, but a lot of
Humidity.
clouds.
Sun, humidity, sweat.
Yeah. So it's definitely one of those things where we're kind of sitting there and we were like, is this going to happen? I've got him. I got 2 other people like all trying to get me to come out. And I'm like, it's raining over my house.
It
It
was pouring over
it
my
was
house.
raining over my house, and then it's clear over his.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, when we went to Smodcastle, it downpoured over your house and was clear over mine.
It did.
Yeah,
I don't remember it then.
what when you were picking up our boy Danny, he went different Danny from before, but he around your
Oh yes,
around
yes.
your
I
block,
remember
it was
coming back and it was raining.
everything was wet. It was like torrential downpour, ground. You see puddles. I was like, meanwhile, a few blocks away, it was completely dry. Now we did get an email from Doug, so I have to make
Of
sure.
course, it's from Doug.
Now I have to make sure I read this correctly because I didn't hear the end of it since the last time. So I've been practicing. But then again,
okay, if you're gonna read it in Doug's voice, you cannot talk like this.
no, I can't read it in Doug's voice because that's just impossible. Doug is one of a kind.
Yes, thank God.
Yeah. If there were more, I'd be worried.
Mm.
But let's start off, and we have to make sure I say this because Doug made sure he's like, read this live, please, and review it beforehand. He really didn't trust me to read this. You could tell. Well, I know I butchered the last one, but then again, I was ill prepared. So now, this is from Doug. Okay, the solo episode without Mike's whining. Yes, please. Mike looks like Cousin Balky, more like Cousin It. Well, apologies to Cousin It on saying that. Anyways, the solo episode stood on strong ground. However, it's fun to have banter when Mike's there, minus his or mess
What
or
mess?
his mic rubbing or constant moving around. Ha! And yes, he wrote ha.
Yeah, I know he wrote ha.
What is an episode without ball busting on Mike? Or actually, he said Michael. So
yeah, Michael. He got formal.
yeah, looking forward to Craven, but as you said, with the multiverse leaves us guessing which fucking universe he's from. But hey, it's better off than what DC did with that scrotum-filled mess they created with no continuity. Only Batman v Superman and Justice League had the literal connections. Agree to disagree as long as it ain't Mike's fucking opinion. LMAO. Read this properly, Dan. LOL. Did I do it justice, Doug? Now I don't give a shit. So, I did it better this time, but I don't fucking care. I'm going to read it however I want to read it. So, because he gets all formal and shit, going from calling you Mike to Michael.
I know. What the fuck is that, Doug?
I'm sorry. Which version of Kit are you? Are you Feeny Kit, where the names are correct and the actual full name, where it would be Michael, as opposed to the Val Kilmer version, which he didn't get credited for that reboot, where it was Mike?
Did he call him Mike?
Yep, called him Mike. Because Michael Knight's son is named Mike.
Tracer.
Oh, God. Really weird show.
They had the potential to do so well, but they just jumped the shark right off the bat.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but,
I mean, with today's computer generated effects, a show like Knight Rider has the potential to do so well, but you need somebody like that. Whole thing was just one big Ford commercial.
Oh, of course. Well, that's how they were getting it done anyway.
Yeah, one of the things that made the original Knight Rider stand out was, yes, the car was a Trans Am, but it didn't look like a Trans Am. Like the whole front of the nose made the car stand out. So yeah, it went on for like 4 or 5 years, and you're gonna get different styles of the car, but still that stood out. And again, it was the dashboard inside, all the lights, buttons, and switches. That made it unique. Just having that glowing orb of an 8-ball in the middle didn't do it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel the same,
No.
and it's not like he hit the switch for turbo boost.
Yeah,
Like, you don't get the turbo boost, it's like,
I mean, okay, if you want to do visual voice commands, that's fine, but the whole pursuit mode thing, attack mode. No.
Yeah, I mean, cool concept, but
Yeah,
a little
it's.
too futuristic, too sci-fi
I mean,
for a show with a talking car.
what they said in the pilot episode, like the quote unquote movie, was they had nano computer bots.
Yeah, nanofiber.
Yeah, which that made sense. Okay, but once he started turning into a pickup truck and a step van, I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah. Well, one of my followers on TikTok did leave a couple comments for one of the videos I did promoting the episode and stuff, and wanted to know because I was talking about anime, so I wanted to know if I watched Demon Slayer and if I could talk about it. Demon Slayer is an amazing anime. I do watch it. I have few figures behind me. Hang on a sec. One of my favorite figures. Got to make sure show it. Get a little Zenitsu on there. So I have have figures for it. I am a big fan. I saw the movie Mugen Train in theaters. They just finished the third season slash fourth season of the Swordsmith Village arc. It was very well animated. The story's great. I watched it subbed because I can't wait. I'm a dub guy. I prefer watching it with the English dubs. Had no choice but to go and watch it subtitled. So I have to actually go back as the episodes are finishing up with their dubbing and watch them on Crunchyroll. But it's one of those newer anime that I highly recommend anybody who, if you're early on, because the entire premise is you have swordsmen that are hunting down demons. This kid Tanjiro, he's selling coal and stuff to like the villagers. So ends up staying in the village for too long. Goes back home. His entire family was attacked by demons. Slaughtered his mother, his brothers, sisters. His one sister Nezuko, she survived, but she was transformed into a demon. So he's like trying to find this demon that created all these other demons, so that this way he can get like they could find a cure to save his sister. And there's a big theme in there about like redemption and like resurrection. So like people getting reincarnated and getting to do things differently. It's like you're seeing these characters and there's someone constantly to relate to. You would probably like one Inosuke. He runs around with two swords and warthog head. He has like was raised by wild animals. Has a warthog head. The swordsmiths hate him for what he did to the swords. They make because he has two of them instead of one. He takes a rock and starts banging dents into the sword because he makes it like it's serrated. So he's giving it like extra ridges so when it cuts, it rips and tears. You're like the swordsmiths are like, oh my god, what the hell?
Well, yeah, you're fucking up their tool.
Yeah. So they spent all this time making it, and you're like gonna just destroy it. And yep,
Mm,
that I think you would probably get a kick out of it. I know you're not an anime fan, but one of these days I'm gonna turn you,
we'll see.
and not in that way. I'm just gonna make you a fan.
But Doug took it.
Yeah. Doug, you kind of deserve that one.
Mm-hmm.
But no, and then my same listener, Evildoer 4X, the number 4X, went and also asked if I could discuss about Yu Yu Hakusho and if they're continuing the series like they're doing with like Dragon Ball Super or New Saga. Unfortunately, they're not doing anything with Yu Yu Hakusho. I know there was like talk of doing like a Netflix live action version, but they haven't talked about like updating it or anything. They did just do the first episode of restarting Ironi Kenshin. There's some controversy behind the creator, so there's mixed reactions. Creator, and I don't want to get into that because that's just yeah. But no, so I love Yu Yu Hakusho. One of the voice actors from the English dub who did the voice of the main character Yusuke Urameshi, Justin Cook, is going to be at Kineticon at towards the end of July, and I am trying to make sure I get out there to go meet him because he is a phenomenal voice actor and also he's usually I believe like a line producer.
Oh,
So he
cool.
does like a lot of the behind the scenes stuff as well. Justin Cook has had a long career. He's done a bunch of different voices in anime, but Yusuke is absolutely one of my favorites. So thank you so much for leaving those comments on my video on TikTok. So just to make sure everyone knows, they can find me on TikTok, Instagram, now Threads. You can also find me on Twitch. You can find me on Discord, and you can find me on YouTube. It's Blue Dragoon 13. That's Blue Dragoon, all one word. Dragoon is spelled with two O's and the number 13. You from Twitch, you can find the TikTok. You can find like a link to pretty much everything from TikTok down to the Discord page. You can watch episodes of the show on YouTube later on, but if you want to catch them early, you can watch the video versions on Spotify now, and you can still listen to us audio on Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, iTunes, I like Apple Music,
Spotify.
whatever it is. But you can listen to it on an iPod, absolutely, if you still have one.
Yeah, I would say, do people still have iPods?
I have a iPod Touch. I know
I
you have the classic.
I have the classic one.
I have
no,
the
I actually have my brother
yeah,
gave me like the huge one.
that's the classic.
Is that the classic one?
That's the classic. So I still have the classic, but I think there's something wrong with it because every now and then it'll glitch and start redoing.
The classic one I have, you need to keep it plugged in because it can't hold the charge.
Yeah,
I have what was the skinny one called?
there was the Shuffle,
No,
which was the first one that looked like a flash drive.
no, not the.
There was the Nano, which was the small square one.
I had a Nano, but it broke. But no, it was like a tall, skinny one with the screen on it, and that one.
There was a few different Nanos. There was
Yeah.
the square one, but they did have like the one that looked like the classic, but it had a bigger color screen on there. And then they went and they came out with the iPod Touch, and now they force you to the fucking phone.
Mm.
Fuck your phone. Fuck Apple. Sorry, I do not like their lack of innovation, and I'm sorry, but I don't want to give Zuckerberg any more money. But if I'm gonna get a VR set, I will get the Quest for $200 to $500 versus spending $3,500 on the new Apple like virtual reality headset. I'm sorry, your metaverses are all ridiculous.
I remember playing like they had at Best Buy. They had like a you could try out like I think like the PlayStation,
The PlayStation VR or
Yeah.
like the Quest.
something like that, and I was like, oh, let me try the They had this X-wing game. I'm like, oh, let me try that.
Yeah.
So it was cool because when like I turned my head, it wasn't like the whole screen. Like you have one view and the screen was turning with you.
Yeah.
Like I could look down, like I saw my hand on the throttle, and I looked over behind me, and I'm seeing like the R2 unit behind me. I'm like, oh shit, this is cool. And then when I go to the guy, I'm like, how much is it? He goes like $1,500, and I take it off my head now.
Oh, absolutely. It gets a little blatantly ridiculous with the price.
Yeah.
I wanted the PlayStation like VR stuff, but one, I didn't have the system that would have enough space for it because I got the cheaper version that didn't have enough USB ports.
Yeah.
But it was just like, are you kidding me? The price tag alone. So, you know, the virtual reality stuff seems really cool, but it always makes me remember the old Virtual Boy where it didn't even go on your head. It was tripod mounted onto the table, put your face right up against it. You're still holding a controller, and all you're seeing is red lines with a black background. And you take your face away, and you are dizzy.
Still seeing the red lines at the
You're,
back.
you're still seeing the red lines, and you're also seeing, hey, I might have to throw up now because I'm really dizzy.
And now everybody has like stigmatism
Yeah.
because of it and cataracts.
Yeah, so I mean, failure for Nintendo, but Nintendo's pulled it out of it.
Yeah.
They've had very few failures, but that was
A big one.
probably the biggest. But no, like there's plenty of great like systems and stuff, but like the VR stuff, you know, I would be interested in getting one of them, even like the Quest, because somebody told me with the Quest you can watch movies on it. So like you can hook it up to like your Netflix account, and you'll be able to watch it like if you were watching it in like a theater screen. So I'm like, that would be kind of cool if it's on like a lower battery setting or whatever. Think about it, if you got like a long flight, like let's say you're flying to like Europe or something, you want like zone out, you got your own headphones on, watching like a movie on like like pretty much your own private screening.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that is a cool concept, but there's a lot of innovation for stuff. I'm sorry, $3,500
Yeah.
for the early versions of something that is could possibly be as big a failure as Google Glass. You know, Google Glass, great concept, and it was small enough, but it was the price tag. No one was going to buy that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the best thing I've seen that came out was like the Snapchat like glasses that they would take. Connects Bluetooth to your phone, so it's got the camera right in the center, and you're taking whatever you see. It's taking the photos and videos.
Very, very Jason Bourne.
Yeah, but you know what? That's kind of cool though. I mean, did you see the drone thing that they have now? There's like a little drone for to take selfies and stuff where it's like you put it out and it'll like connects I think Bluetooth to your phone, so it'll take the photos for you. So like if you don't have a camera person,
That's cool.
yeah. I mean, you got to figure out how to learn how to fly a drone.
Why do I got to figure it out?
Cuz I'm not doing that. I'll edit, but I'm not sitting there learning how to fly a fucking drone. You're going to make me learn how to fly a fucking drone, aren't
no,
you?
no, I'll learn.
You can learn?
I believe it or not, yeah. What real boys do. As plus Doug thinks
Oh,
I'm
listen, you little wee puppet man.
Anyway,
He's the wee puppet man, Balky.
there was I was a friend of Andre's got in touch with me like 2 years ago, wanted me to help scout locations, and I was in his film that he did for the school, and the school gave him like a $3,500 drone.
Damn.
Yeah, and because he wanted to do it for like a tracking shot of a car going past, like like one of the overhead shots,
Yeah.
and he had this thing up. It had to be at least 300-400 feet in the air, and he was controlling it from his phone. And then all of a sudden, his phone died. And he went, "Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!" I'm like, "What's the matter?" "The phone died." I'm like, "Okay." And he goes, "That's how I'm controlling the drone." I was like, "Oh shit!" So he couldn't like he had like the controls plugged into his phone, and
Yep.
he had like a joystick, but he couldn't plug in the charger to his phone because that's where the remote control went. So the thing went into like a hover mode, and he was shitting a brick because if this thing falls, I owe them $3,500. I was like trying not to laugh at the guy's face, but at the same time, like,
Oh, you should have been laughing your ass off.
I was trying not to.
I would have.
You would have, but I wouldn't. But
Listen, I am that friend that I tell you straight out. If you fall, I'm going to laugh. When I'm done laughing, I will ask if you're okay. If you're stupid enough to tell me you're fine, I'm going to go back to laughing at you again. And that's the kind of friend I am.
makes you wonder what's wrong with me.
Well, what's right with you is a shorter list.
That is true.
So, everybody, now, Mike, did we get any new followers?
No, we are still holding steady at 43 on the Instagram.
Listen, I know you guys are going out on your summer vacations and stuff, but we're a travel podcast. You can take us along with you. Download us, put us on your device, on your phone. If you're like me and you have an iPod Touch, you can download us and put us on there. Use your Apple Music, use Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio. You can take us along for the ride.
And remember, people, we only need another 7 people to follow us, and I will do my best to grow the Magnum stash, and he will shave his goatee.
Yeah,
He was born with that fucking goatee.
One would think that I was. That's how important this goatee is to me, and how important it is to make him grow a Magnum stash. Come on. Just try and picture Balky Bartakamus with a Burt Reynolds stash.
Now, see, the Burt Reynolds stash is different than the Magnum stash.
Either way,
No,
it
Burt
doesn't.
Reynolds kind of had it coming down towards the end of his mouth a little bit, but the Magnum had it like right at the bicuspis. It kind of went to bicuspis.
Either way, you still need the stash.
Hey, if we get another 7, I will do my best. I mean, only Tom Selleck can grow a mustache like that, but I will do my best.
If he's forced to grow one, I have to lose one. Only one of us is allowed to have facial hair
in the lair.
Yeah, exactly. In the lair, only one man can have facial hair. Doug showed up on the show, and Doug is now completely.
Doug is he's a cue ball.
Yeah, he shaved his head and shaved the beard off. It's
Uh-huh.
like, what the hell?
He walked into the house and Maggie's like, "What the fuck? Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah, when Mike's dog can't figure out who you are, and she loves everybody,
Yeah.
but even she was confused, and I was confused when I first saw him at the bar. You realize, like, when we went and from going to Smodcastle to then going to your barbecue, Doug had completely altered his look to the point where I was like, I actually did a double take because I was like, who is that? I didn't want to say it, but I'm like, who is this? I don't know. I don't recognize him. I felt like Mike's dog looking at you, just staring like, huh? So, 7 more listeners, folks. We need 7. 7 more. Keep this fucking hype train going, people. Come on. We're winding down to the final days of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, before we take a small break,
And we will keep this to the. It's not just a 1 or 2 episode thing. It's 47 listeners. I'm sorry, 50 listeners or followers by the end of this season.
Yeah.
If we don't get it, then next season we'll do something different.
Exactly. So we are putting a time crunch on this one.
Yeah.
So get us to 50.
I will do my best to grow the stash.
And I will cry and I will film myself shaving the goatee for each and every one of you. You will get to see something that most people never get that opportunity.
The baby-faced assassin.
Pretty much. It really does. It's like I guarantee it'll take like at least 5 years off if I lose it. It's like 5 years.
It could.
No, it really does. It's like I keep getting that.
Yeah. Whenever I shave, I'm like, ooh, I look good.
Yeah, before my surgery, I went to the gym after they reopened and stuff. One of the guys who was a trainer there, really cool kid. I'm going to talk to him, like if I can say anything about him. But he, like, when he first met me, because you still had to wear the mask at the gym, so I'm wearing my mask. He swore like I was in my 20s. So it's like, and
Thank you.
that's covering my mouth. So you could still hear me, still having conversations, but facial hair, couldn't see any of it. So couldn't even see when I let it grow even more with a beard.
Mm.
And it was like he was completely in shock. And to this day, he still, every time I see him, still can't get over how old I actually am. He was like, I would have thought at least like 30. So I'm like, good genetics, people. So now, Mike, give them your hamster socials.
Okay, you can follow me, Mike Schiavo, at Hamster Pellet Productions on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram at Hamster Pellet and on Facebook under Mike Schiavo. I will be looking into the threads for the Dragoon's Lair podcast, so I will be checking that out and updating that probably within a week or 2.
Yep. Yeah, it took a little while for threads. It went straight to Apple, of course.
Well, actually, when I checked out, see if we had any new listeners, I had that little like circle that's
Yeah.
and it's like threads. I was like, oh, speak of the devil.
Yeah, so threads is popping up, and it took them like an extra like half a day to get it out for Android, but the Apple users got it first, so they were looking it over, and I signed up, so I will be adding and like making any posts because I won't be posting on Twitter to advertise the show as much. I'll still do it, but those same tweets are gonna be threads, or are they yarns?
I think if you get like 12 threaded to yarn.
I think so.
Remember, there's 8 hectares in a bushel, so
8 hectares in a bushel.
8 hectares in a bushel.
Uh,
And I'm not just talking about my gardener either.
yeah.
8 hectares and 1 bushel of no.
The worst part is you are your own
I
gardener.
am my own. I ain't gonna pay somebody to mow my lawn. I do it myself.
I just rent out a goat. Let him just eat the grass.
Rent out a goat. Maggie, go.
Your dog will eat the grass and then throw it back up.
That's what she did. She did that the other day.
She did that before we went to Smodcastle.
Did she?
Yeah.
I wasn't home for that.
Yeah, you weren't.
I went to get Danny.
Yeah, other Danny, not me. And not the other one that just got married.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Oh,
know
he might-
way too many
might-
Dannys.
He might come on next week.
Really?
You know, he's a Kevin Smith fanatic too.
Okay.
I told him, let's put some of that useless knowledge to work.
There you go, folks. So we might have something to look forward to. Surprises in store. But if you
surprise.
if you get us 7 more, 7 more. That's all it takes. 7 more to have Mike grow the stash and to see me humiliated without my goatee.
I don't think you'll be humiliated.
Oh, I'd be humiliated.
Anyway.
It feels weird.
It will feel weird.
The last time I got rid of the goatee, I didn't feel like myself for a week. Because it took a week and it came back.
Yeah, it goes back pretty quick.
Thankfully, my goatee will regrow.
Mm-hmm.
But for this, just to really make sure we drive this one home clear, until you have the stash, I will have to be clean shaven. So I will be stuck until his grows in.
How again? Well, see, the thing is with my beard and my facial
Your
hair,
beard will grow.
my
It's
beard
the
will grow.
stash
It's like the more I shave it, the thicker it'll grow back. So
yeah, but it's still a slower process.
it is a very slow process.
Like where
especially get the Magnum stash.
Yeah, me, it's like mine grows back really quick. Where it's like in a week, I'm back to like stubble, but the shape, everything is there.
Well, within a week, I'm like the way I am now.
Yeah.
Because I haven't shaved in like 2 weeks. So
Can you believe that, people? 2 weeks? I don't believe it.
My brother looks like a freaking beast. He gets his 5 o'clock shadow at 8 o'clock in the morning.
And on that note, folks, we're going to end today's episode the way we always do. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Now get out.